Okie dokie, my beautiful readers, this is going to be a rather emotional video, and hopefully kind of short, but definitely emotional. Okay, so, we know that I am a rape victim, and I am very involved in that community. As a rape victim and a survivor, I care a lot about other victims and other survivors. And in 2016, when the Stanford Rape Case broke in the news, that's when it really got big, because that's when the trial was going on, I was destroyed by the fact that a judge could be handed a guilty verdict from a jury with a lot of evidence and only give him 6 months with a protective detail in a prison. So the evidence of the Stanford Rape Case, he was caught red-handed thrusting in to, at the time as we knew her, Emily Doe. And for most of this video I will call her Emily Doe so that you understand why I'm so emotional today. So Brock Turner was found by 2 men thrusting in to Emily Doe's body. The police were called. He was immediately taken into custody because these 2 men went above and beyond what they had to do and basically did a citizen's arrest, which means you basically hold them hostage until the police get there. Police came. Emily Doe was immediately taken to the hospital, where she woke up on a gurney with nurses surrounding her. The nurses were taking debris out of her hair. The nurses found debris inside of her. In Emily Doe's impact statement, she talks about taking down her pants when she was finally allowed to go to the bathroom, and how not having underwear on hit her really hard. And as a rape victim who's chosen never to have a rape kit done, I can't fathom going through that. She talks about what it was like to wake up in a hospital and not know how she got there, and then be told that she was sexually assaulted. And I followed the Stanford Rape Case very closely, because it was something I was very passionate about, and something that, although heinous and that a lot of people want to ignore and not see on their news feed, I made the choice that anybody who followed me was going to see it on their news feed every day. Because to not see it on their news feed every day basically meant that we were ignoring the fact that this horrible situation was happening. Even to this day, when I read her impact statement, I cry. I can't fathom going to court, because I always chose not to. Because going to court meant it was going to be hell. And I was going to have to relive it, not only for the prosecutors, but also for the defense and for a jury. And I didn't want to do that. And so I never did. But just the strength of going through trial and reading her impact statement was awe-inspiring for all victims and all survivors out there making that battle every single day. And now, after after 4 years, she has released her name. Emily Doe is Emily Doe no longer. She is now Chanel Miller. And when I saw that she released her name, I was so proud of the survivor that she has become. It takes a lot of internal strength to attach your identity to something so horrible that happened to you. And she did. And doing that in and of itself means that you're taking that horrible thing back and you're claiming it. She has a book, a memoir, coming out on the 24th of this month, and you bet your bottom dollar that that book is on pre-order. The news broke today. As of me making this video, the news broke 5 hours ago. I have been up for 2 hours. And I probably saw the news about an hour ago, and I have not stopped crying since. I am so profoundly floored by her strength. And the Stanford Rape Case permanently changed how America looks at rape cases and how the community rallies behind rape cases and the rape victim and the support that the world has given to rape victims since the Stanford Rape Case became national news. And Joe Biden wrote an open letter to Emily Doe, and in it, he says that because she is Emily Doe, she has become every rape victim. She has become every rape survivor. And she embodies everything that every rape survivor can aspire to be. And honestly, even though Emily Doe is now Chanel Miller, she is still every rape survivor that every rape survivor can aspire to be. She has claimed this horrible this horrible act, and is making it her own. She has decided to tell her truth, to claim who she is, to claim what happened to her. She has decided to write her narrative, and writing your narrative and doing that, it's so important to the healing process. And Emily Doe Chanel Miller, I've called her Emily Doe for so long that it's going to take me a while to call her Chanel Miller. But say her name. Chanel Miller. Her memoir is also called Know Her Name. And so while this not really is about BookTube, this is something that I couldn't ignore. As someone who does have a social media presence for rape victims and rape survivors, who works hotlines for rape victims and rape survivors, who has followed her case, and has been very involved with rallying behind victims, I could not, in good conscience, not make this video. And I am so proud of her strength. I am inspired by her strength. I have hope for victims everywhere, that victims will see this and see her book and know that they too can heal. It's not an easy process. It's not. I struggle with it every day. But it is so awe-inspiring that Chanel Miller has put her name out there. People will say, why did she release it after 4 years? Because that's when she was ready to. That's when she was ready to not be Emily Doe. And there is nothing wrong with that. And on this note, I am just going to end it here because there's nothing more I can say for the pure inspiration that Chanel Miller is. There's nothing more I can say for how proud I am and how happy I am for her. I have not been crying because I've been disgusted with the world. I have been crying because this is a monumental moment for Chanel Miller and for every single rape victim across the world. And also, not to plug in her book, but you should buy her book. If you are a rape victim or survivor, you should definitely buy her book, because I know for a fact that it will open your eyes to things that you didn't think about before. If you're not a rape victim or survivor, buy her book so that you know what it's like to live with that title on you for the rest of your life. And if, by chance, Chanel Miller, you ever see this, you've been an inspiration to me since your story broke, because you hung on to strength. You hung on to your power the entire trial. And if anything, you have inspired me to go after my MFA so that I can write my book on rape culture and make the changes happen that you helped put in motion 4 years ago. So, there's nothing more I can say except for rape victims, rape survivors. We're all out here. We're all rooting for you, even if you don't know it. And be strong. Chanel Miller took 4 years to put her name to the crime. It doesn't matter if you never find that strength. Sometimes your strength will just be getting up another day. And that is perfectly okay.